The Overwatch team just dropped a new blog outlining some of the perks changes for Season 16, their plans with Freya, and the results of the 6 vs 6 test. Let's have a look. Season 16 of Overwatch 2 is rapidly approaching, so the development team is slowly raising the curtain on what we can expect for Season 16. Just mere minutes ago, they released a new director's take, their usually bi-weekly blog. And this time around, it's not written by Aaron Keller, the game director for Overwatch, but the newly promoted Alec Dawson, the associate game director for Overwatch. And Alec had a few topics he wanted to cover, all of them tied into Season 16. The first one being perk changes. He explained that one of their biggest philosophies when designing all of these perks is the idea that there's no wrong perk, meaning that there should not be a go-to choice, that all of the perks should be viable depending on your playstyle and the circumstances in which you play, aka the game that is going on, which I think is a great philosophy. I think we can all agree on that. Do it. Agree. Fine. And while they have met those goals for several heroes, there are still plenty that need some help, starting in Season 16, but also beyond. They looked at the pick rates, the win rates, and of course all of the community feedback to decide where to go with these perks, and they have a ton of ideas on the table. After which he gave an example of some of the changes that we can expect to see in Season 16. For Sandra, for instance, as he already mentioned before, Stack Overflow is on the chopping block. It is the perk that extends the hack time, but actually nerfs the reach of hack, while that one is getting replaced by another major perk called Viral Replication, which will allow the virus to spread to nearby enemies. I like that one. We've seen it before. Mercy's Angelic Recovery, a minor perk that will heal Mercy if she's connected to a full health ally, is being replaced by Angelic Resurrection, which will give her 100 overhealth when she is using the ability. A pretty obvious choice for those Mercies that are very cheeky and try to pull off a res right in front of the enemy team, while waving at them, or sometimes flipping them off. Kinda depends if she had coffee or not. Juno is also getting a brand new major perk, Locked On. It will lower the cooldown on pulsar torpedoes for every enemy she hits, which is basically going to push her to be a little more active in the game. It is going to replace reboots. That is the one where glide boost will reset double jump. That one is being moved to the minor perks, where hyper boost is being cut. Hyper boost is a very unpopular minor perk that actually pushes you forward a little faster if you glide boosted through your own hypering. Nobody picked it, because the torpedoes one is the better one. But look, it's not all going to be buffs. Trace's perk change is actually a nerf. They're getting rid of the triple blink. How? That is still unclear. They didn't really elaborate on that. Another change that they didn't elaborate on, but kind of just teased, is from May. One of her old classic abilities, or rather components, is going to make a return in Season 16 as a major perk. I wonder which one that will be. Oh boy, we're going to need a lot of holy water. And there will be a lot more changes. But for now, they are keeping those to themselves. I guess we'll find out in 2 weeks. The next topic was Freya, the new upcoming DPS hero that is being released in Season 16. Now, a few weeks ago, we did a player test of Freya. And overall, in terms of success, it was comparable to Venture's playtest. Pretty good. Now, the main thing they learned from that test is that Freya was underpowered, so she will be getting a small buff upon release in Season 16. Her Revdraw crossbow will now shoot 12 shots before max spread, an increase from the original 8. And Bola shot's damage over time is being increased, as well as its max radius. There's also going to be a few quality of life changes, like the option to bind her quick dash to double jump. As always, I'm kind of worried that she underperformed during the playtest because people simply did not know how to play her. But Alec Dawson actually said in the blog that they balanced her keeping that in mind. So she will be in a comfortable place, but there will still be room for people that really dive into Freya to get better without becoming a nuisance. I mean, they'll probably keep a close eye on her. Hopefully. And then there was the final topic, 6 vs 6. Now, I want to do a more in-depth video on this whole topic somewhere next week, so I'm going to keep this short. Alec Dawson shared that before April Fool's was released, the competitive 6 vs 6 open queue was the third most played game mode in the game. The ratio between 5 vs 5 competitive and 6 vs 6 competitive was, or is, that wasn't super clear, 3-1, which is not bad at all, and it is staying steady. On top of that, all of the queue times were healthy, so they decided to keep open queue 6 vs 6 both in quick play and competitive throughout the whole of Season 16. That is good news. but not yet the end of the whole story for 6 vs 6. I'll come back to that in another video next week. Oh, by the way, talking about videos, I actually had a video planned for today on reasons why Stadium might fail to convince players. It is a follow-up on Tuesday's video, in which I said it was going to be a success. But since this one was a little more urgent, I pushed that video back to tomorrow, so it is coming. Make sure to subscribe. But tell me, what do you think about all of these perk changes and the results of 6 vs 6? Let me know in the comments. For now, however, that was it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It always helps me out. I also want to thank my patrons and YouTube members. You too can become a member over on patreon.com/theomnicpost and right here on YouTube to unlock exclusive rewards. If you have a few minutes left, maybe check out one of my other videos. But above all, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye bye.